Audio Device Live is the preeminent audio and home theater show in the world, and nobody can do it like our team here at Audio Device.
Audio Device Live is designed for anyone who's just checking out audio for the first time or an audiophile that's been living and breathing it forever. We bring the heaviest hitters in the industry, Macintosh, Bowers & Wilkins, all of the biggest names.
Our goal with Audio Device Live is to bring the best brands and manufacturers in the world to have the chance to interact firsthand with our customers, to be able to deliver these amazing world-class experiences and see them firsthand.
My friends and I have had so much fun at Audio Device Live. It's been an incredible experience. It's so great to be around people who, really appreciate the gear, and it's been such a fun time.
Our team makes this the best experience a consumer could possibly have in the nation. It is the second largest audio show in the country and the largest home theater show in the world.
Experience the one-of-a-kind magic of Audio Device Live. Visit our website today.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Audio Advice live stream, where this is part of our series. I think this is our third one that's about some of the standout experiences that you're going to see at Audio Advice Live this year. We're sitting at about 14 days away, roughly, something right around there, 2 weeks. So it's coming up quickly. So if you haven't heard the good news, definitely go and check out the show. We should have a website. We'll put it in the comments. And so we'll put that on there. So go check out the website and take a look at it. So I'm also joined by somebody that I think that a lot of you will recognize. Harrison, why don't you tell us a bit about who you are?
Yeah, what's up, Nick? Good to talk to you. And yeah, what's up, everybody? Excited to be back on a live stream here. It's been a minute since I've done one of these, but you may recognize me from some of the YouTube videos and reviews. I do a lot of the reviews over here at Audio Advice and get to play with a lot of fun products and test them out. So yeah, exciting to be on this live stream. Thanks for having me again. And yeah, like Nick said, go check out audioadvice.live right now. You can see all the info we have up, all the different brands and experiences that we're going to have. And I'm just super excited for, I think it's the fourth year already. They fly by, but they keep getting better and better. And I know we always say they get better, but I really actually am excited for this year. Some really cool theaters, some really cool things going on in different sessions. So I personally am super excited for it. And on top of that, today we are giving away, we're actually not giving away. Anybody who wants to get a ticket right now and register, you can get up to 50% off. So all you need to do is type in 50 AAL. When you go to register, so 50% off today only until midnight. We'll put that in the comments so you can read it as well. But if you're thinking about going or maybe planning on going, now's the time. Get your tickets today because 50% off. It's an amazing deal. So yeah, go check it out. You can do that at audioadvice.live right now. And in addition to that, we have a really cool giveaway in this live stream. All you have to do is leave a comment. We're going to pick one comment. So keep leaving comments, but we're only going to count one comment per person. And it's going to be the Music Hall MMF 1.5 turntable. It's a $500 value, incredible turntable, amazing beginner turntable, but really does punch well above its weight for what it has to offer. So if you're just starting or maybe want a different turntable for a different room, this is an incredible giveaway. So we want to thank them for having that on the live stream. And it's pretty easy to win. Just leave a comment below. At the end of the live stream, we'll announce who gets this really cool turntable.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's a good price for the tickets on here. We have been running these for a few, so definitely jump on it. Some people have regretted not grabbing it, so go ahead and use the code while you get the chance. It expires here at midnight. But kind of as Harrison said, this is our fourth year for Audio Advice Live. Every year we try to step up and do bigger and better every single year, which is very challenging. So this year I can say certainly it's going to be the biggest show yet. So we're going to have 10 plus home theaters at the show. So a lot of big experiences. Some of those we've already covered. Some we're going to cover in the next standout experiences. But we're going to have one of the first, I say first, this is the second technical demo of waveforming at the show, which if you aren't familiar with it, tune in next week or the week after. No, I think it's next week where we're going to be discussing that one a little bit deeper in detail, as well as some new product launches, some really big theaters. One of the cool things about this show is that we have, I want to say full freedom, but most freedom. We actually do full Atmos setups in the hotel where we put speakers in the ceiling and can go through and put some massive subs. So it's a lot of fun. We also have some of the best 2-channel experiences at the show, just hands down. So as well as turntables, headphones, everything. And so today we're going to be focusing on some of the turntables and headphones that are going to be at the show, but it'll be a lot of fun. So there's also kind of some other fun events that we have, throughout the show. So Harrison, do you want to talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk about one of my favorite parts of the show is, so the show starts on Friday, but Friday night we do a really fun, we call it a kickoff event. And essentially after the show kind of closes up on Friday, we walk right across the street from the Sheraton Hotel where the show is, and we go over to the Lincoln Theater, which, yeah, as you can see in that photo, it's been in Raleigh for a while. It's got a really cool vibe inside. And we'll do a quick little presentation there. You'll get some drinks. Get to hang out and meet some people after the show, maybe see some of the brands in there, some other friends and audiophiles as well. Talk to them. We do a quick little presentation. We're going to show you some secret exclusive stuff that you won't have heard about before. So it's a really good time to see some new stuff that we're going to be announcing. And then right after that, you can see the band on stage. So really cool location. We're going to have a band called Sleeping Booty Band. They're a lot of fun, super energetic. Yeah, it's a great time to just relax and hang out and dance the night away and have a good night on Friday night. So if you have tickets to Audio Advice Live, this is included with the Friday ticket or the whole weekend ticket. We definitely recommend you go. It's a really fun time to just get drinks and relax and hang out with everyone.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You said relax. I think a lot of people party down there more than relax.
It's true. The people in the back relax, and then the front you'll see people partying. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. So it's a really fun event. So yeah, it's for our brand partners, YouTubers, just people who are attending the show. Anybody can go. So it's a big blast. So another thing that we're doing a little bit different this year, if you've been in years past, we've done panel sessions where we have a large format room, a lot of seats, and we kind of go over some of the surface level questions. This year, we wanted to take this a little bit a step further, and we wanted to make it more intimate settings with just deeper topics. And so we're calling them deep dive sessions. So we're actually going to have it more of a classroom style setting. So if you are coming to the show, we're going to be listing the full schedule here soon, but there's going to be some names that you definitely recognize everywhere from YouTube content creators to engineers within the field, brands that you know about, and all of them are supposed to be based around conceptual topics rather than specific products or specific brands. So even if somebody's from a brand, they're going to be talking about just topics as a whole. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to have MoFi here in a bit on. So we're going to have Andrew Jones on from their team, along with Randy, Cheap Audio Man. Well, let's see. There's quite a few. I won't list them all off. I'm getting ahead of myself. We're supposed to be releasing the list soon, so we'll get on that. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and in that same vein, we're going to have a lot of the YouTubers there at the show. So if you watch YouTube, which obviously you probably do, you're going to recognize a lot of faces there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So awesome. Well, yeah, I think we've got a few other things happening at the show here. So do you want to cover those?
Yeah, I just also want to mention that during the show, there's going to be a lot of show specific promos. So if you're maybe on the edge about getting a specific speaker, or you're maybe in the market right now, it's a really good time to go to different rooms and see maybe what show promos they have going on, because you might be able to score a really good deal on something you're looking for, or maybe something you're not in the market for, but it's just such a good price. As well as there's going to be some giveaways throughout the show. So again, just going to different brand rooms and seeing what they have, what they're showing, as well as they might be giving some things away. So it's a good time to maybe score some free gear, maybe score something that's way cheaper than you would have thought of. Yeah, I think that this is an amazing time to, even if you aren't in the market, you might find something that's just too good of a deal at the show.
Yeah, for sure. So it'll be a lot of fun. And we got a few quick questions on here about the show before we bring out the rest of the guys. So do you have recommended hotels or area hotels? So we should still have some rooms at the Sheraton. If not, there are a lot of hotels. This is in downtown Raleigh, so there are a lot of hotels in close proximity. So definitely check those out. And then will there be tests at the end of the presentation? You know what? Just for you, let us know whenever you're there, and I'll write you up a test on the spot. So, but if you guys couldn't think of any questions right now, go ahead and put them in the chat. And as we kind of go through the show, we're going to answer some questions, some product related, some about the show. So that pretty much concludes mine and Harrison's portion. I'm going to let Harrison go. He's kind of got a cool announcement. So I want everybody to congratulate him in the chat and embarrass him nice and good. Harrison is a new father.
Yes, thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just had our first baby girl, so I'm a week-old dad. She's a week old, and it's been a fun last week. I might look a little tired, but you'll see me on the YouTube channel shortly here. I'll be putting out a couple more reviews before Audio Advice Live, and I'm still looking forward to Audio Advice Live. But yeah, I've got my hands tied with a few other things currently. So Nick, I do appreciate you having me on, and like I said, I am really super excited this year for Audio Advice Live. I'm excited for those deep dive panel sessions, like you said, that are going to be a little bit different this year. I'm really excited for that kickoff event and just seeing all the new and fun gear and those home theaters. And again, even the small things like the headphones, it's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully I see you guys there. If you see me, stop me, say hello. And I'm going to go take care of my week-old child now.
All right. We had to mess with Harrison. Instead of nursery rhymes, his baby's going to be listening to Diana Krall. I made that joke ahead of time, but I didn't just come up on the spot. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll make sure we bring you some SA CDs to the show, Harrison.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, have a good one, man. So
Thanks,
up next, we're going to bring out John from MoFi. So let's see. Hey, John, how you doing?
Good, man. Good to see you, Nick.
Awesome. Good to see you. So let's see. You're a familiar face in this channel. So tell me a bit about what you do, just to remind everybody and who you are.
Sure. So I've been with MoFi for about 10 years. We started MoFi distribution, and we import brands from all around the world, work with great retailers like Audio Advice for Wharfdale. We started MoFi Electronics also about 10 years ago, built a factory out in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where we build turntables by hand with our own team and our own components there. We also own Music Hall, which we bought from the legendary Roy Hall just about a little over a year ago. So, I mean, we're really music guys, analog guys. Our sister company, I think a lot of people watching would know, Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab, which has been making records since the late 70s. So everything to do with 2-channel high-end audio, that's kind of our gig. And I'm involved in everything from sales, marketing, product development. You know, we're a small team, so we all wear a lot of hats over here.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys make some awesome products. And as a lot of people in the chat are saying right now, awesome records as well. Yeah, that was my introduction to MoFi, and then your equipment. I think that we heard I think it was one of the first turntables. I think it was a Studio Tech that you guys came out with, and you brought it to the showroom, and everybody was kind of like, yeah, it's a record brand. How good can the turntable be? And they were all converted that day on the spot. So you guys make some absolutely impressive gear. So you've been to Audio Advice Live though a few times, haven't you?
I think every year. Yeah. Every single year. It's a great show.
Yeah, and you guys bring some awesome stuff, every year. Your room's always packed out. So what are you guys planning on bringing this year?
Yeah, so we're going bigger this year. Last year we showed the MoFi SourcePoint 888s, which was the first year of the 888. This year we showed the new SourcePoint V10 at Expona, which was kind of a pre-production prototype pair. It was literally the pair that Andrew was doing all of his fine-tuning on. We just finished production of the first run of V10, so that will be coming to Audio Advice Live. V10 stands for V, Roman numeral V is 5, so 5 10s in this thing. So when we started the brand with the loudspeakers, we did the SourcePoint 10. A lot of people said, oh, that's too big. So then we went to the 8. Then we did, we should do a tower. Then we did the 888. And then everybody said, well, when are you going to do a 10-inch tower? So it's like, okay, we can make a little bit of something for everybody. The V10 is an absolute powerhouse of a speaker. I mean, it's truly full range, goes down to about 27 hertz, and that's like anechoic measurements. So in room, you're getting true full range playback. Big speakers, it's easy to drive. It's 91 dB efficient, so very easy to drive. But you can also play really loud if you have the power to do that. So it can do subtlety, it can do nuance, but it can also do scale and just kind of slam that you just can't replace with small drivers, right? 510s, you feel 510s.
Yeah, we got to hear these at Expona, and I was joking before. Andrew Jones does quite the bass heavy demo with these, and these aren't. I wouldn't say they're not bass forward speakers by any means, but whenever they're meant to reproduce bass, they absolutely do.
They can do it.
Huge room.
Yeah.
It was a huge room, and I'm I work a lot in theater, so I'm a big supporter of, subwoofers inside of 2-channel setups. These absolutely don't need it. I'm sure you can probably add it on and get, some benefit from placement, but all things considered, yeah, you don't need it. That was a huge space and it was filling the space. Absolutely no problem. So you guys are going to be in a smaller room here versus Xpona. So I expect even more. If you said they go down to 26 anechoically, is that right?
Yeah, I think it's 27 just anechoic measurements. So, I mean, this will be true full range playback. And the room is smaller at Audio Advice Live. We have the big ballroom at Xpona. But yeah, people will be able to tell.
Yeah, well, I'm really
it's a fun speaker. You can play the audiophile stuff, and it's fantastic for that. It throws up a huge enveloping sound stage. But what this speaker really allows you to do, and what I did one night at Xpona after hours, we were playing Crystal Method Vegas, some old Beastie Boys, Fatboy Slim. I was going through like a whole '90s house, trip hop mix, and playing it at club volumes, and it just would not quit. I mean, people were just staying in that room hours and hours at high SPL. But it's interesting because you can play these loud without getting fatigued because it's so clean sounding as well. I mean, there's truly no replacement for displacement, and if you have good clean amplification, you can do whatever you want with these.
Yeah, and it was interesting too. I don't want to get too off topic with just talking about speakers, but the two rear-facing woofers. So are you guys wanting those placed closer to the wall? Do you want them placed off the wall? Yeah, how are you kind of showing them at the show?
Yeah, so the source points typically sound best further away from a wall, typically a couple of feet at a minimum. With the base radiators, what's interesting compared to a ported design, because the surface area of the passive radiators is so much bigger, you can actually generally get these a little bit closer to the wall than you would a ported design. But I still feel like a foot, 2 feet, that's pretty much the minimum distance you'll want from the back wall.
Yeah. Yeah. And they also, is there a new crossover in these versus?
Yeah. So, this was kind of an interesting project because while we were working on these, or I should say Andrew was, I don't want to take any of his credit. It gave him an opportunity to improve the crossover, dealing with a larger 3-way design. You have a more complicated crossover, but in that whole process, it allowed us to rethink what we were doing also with the Source Point 10, which was our first loudspeaker. And by doing the V10, we decided, you know what, this is a good opportunity to take some of what we've learned with this project and trickle it over to the original Source Point 10. So for anybody watching YouTube, I think Aaron's Audio Corner just put out a video today on his channel reviewing the new Source Point 10 Master Edition, which has upgraded crossover components, also has a very cool 3-position switch on the back. So both the V10 and the 10ME have this, where you can actually tailor the high frequency response to your room and your taste. And that's something that we didn't have before. So you can have a brighter sound if that's what you like, or if you have a large room that has a lot of absorption in it, or you can knock that treble level down if that's your preferred flavor. So you get a lot of flexibility with the new 10 loudspeakers.
Yeah. When it's nice too, especially if you're up close against a sidewall and you need to turn down those high frequencies a bit. If you're getting early reflections and you're not treating your room, still treat your room.
Yeah, and concentric drivers have nice broad dispersion characteristics, very even across the room. So even with those reflections, it sounds natural, but you're right, you can tame that down if you have a reflective room.
Yeah, for sure. Well, everybody come out and listen to those at the show. They're a lot of fun. So definitely come out. And I think you got a few other products that you're showing off there.
Yeah. So, we also just released the Fender X MoFi American Vintage Turntable. So this is our second collaboration with Fender guitars, where we take a real legit Fender wood body that comes from California. In this case, it's an alder body. We work with Fender artists. So this particular model has a beautiful satin burst finish on it. Some people may have seen our previous collaboration, the Precision Deck, which was the typical kind of high gloss 3-color burst. This is a bit more subdued, but still a beautiful finish with a 2-tone satin burst. And this is based partially on our Ultra Deck and our Master Deck, our top-of-the-line turntable, kind of merged into one unit. So it's not just a cool cosmetic upgrade with that alder body. We also have built-in electronic speed control now, which is informed from our Master Deck series. So that means if you, instead of switching the belt to a different pulley when you're playing like a 33, or a lot of MoFi customers obviously have 45 RPM albums. Just with the press of the power button, you can switch between 33 and 45 speeds very easily. You don't need to mess with the belt anymore. It also allowed us to get more precision on the speed, so better than broadcast standard wow and flutter measurements. So this is not just a beautiful looking, but it's a beautiful sounding turntable as well. And so this might be, well, I think we had it at Expona. It wasn't quite ready yet. We just finished production of these, the first batch, in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in our factory. So these are a new release that'll be at Audio Advice Live as well.
Very cool. And I like the dust cover as well. You guys kind of did a sort of tinted dust cover that looks nice. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this whole table design. I don't know if you guys can see. I think it's the same exact finish as this Telecaster back here. The 3-tone from before is on the Strat, and then got the 2-tone Sunburst on the Telecaster. So I selfishly looked at this table myself, but it looks awesome. And so one of the things I was actually talking to somebody about, what kind of adjustability does the tone arm have on this table? Is it,
we're audiophiles, so we tweak. We need to have all that adjustment on MoFi turntables. We feel like that's what the customers want. So we offer that turntable without a cartridge, but we also prepackage it with MoFi cartridges that are all aligned. But if you want to take it further, the arm has accommodations for adjustable azimuth, VTA, obviously tracking force. We include all the little Allen wrench tools that you need in the packaging, in a detailed manual, so you can learn how to make those adjustments very easily. So it's unlike some brands, it's a fully adjustable tone arm. You can tweak to your heart's content. But our production team in Michigan works really hard. If you buy it with a MoFi cartridge, you shouldn't have to tweak it all that much, if at all. They work really hard to be very precise with that.
Yeah. Well, part of the hobby is testing out different things, and having the adjustability options on there alone is huge, because a lot of people want just plug and play, which is great in some cases, because you have design cohesion through cartridge manufacturing, cartridge design, and the turntable itself. But having the flexibility is always good. So well, let's see. And are these limited as well?
So the Precision Deck, the previous model, we only made 1,000 of those. I think there might still be a few floating out there. This is not necessarily going to be limited, but we are going to make small batches of them. So I think our first run is only 250 pieces before we start another batch probably later this year.
Very cool. Those look awesome. I'm sure that's going to be very popular there. And I think you got a third thing that you're showing off at the show, right?
Man, we have a lot we're showing off at the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what you have pictures of ready to go, but we will have the Master Deck and MasterPhono on display. Yeah. So that's our flagship analog system. Currently, with Audio Advice, and we are running a promotion over the summer. The summer are slow months for audio. People are outside, so to get people a little more interested in hi-fi during the warm season, we are giving away 5 mobile fidelity one-step records with a Master Deck and another 5 titles with a MasterPhono. So you put those two together, you can have an awesome collection of one-step LPs all ready to go with your new system.
Very cool. Yeah, I was just looking through all the albums on there. That's awesome. Are those all? You said those were all the one steps.
They're all one steps. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's our top of the line records with our top of the line, turntable and phono preamplifier. And that's free. That's a US only promotion for anybody who might be watching overseas, unfortunately. But yeah, we'll be doing that this summer. We'll also be showing Hi-Fi Rose. I know this is a vinyl focused show, but Hi-Fi Rose Electronics, integrated amplifier, streaming DAC, and fingers crossed, I think in time for the show, we'll have a new model from Hi-Fi Rose, the US debut at Audio Advice Live, called the RS451, which they previewed over at Munich earlier this year. That should finally be ready just in time for Audio Advice Live. Very cool. Yeah, you guys always bring a lot of goodies there. So yeah. So we'll also be showing Wharfdale loudspeakers, not to just show all MoFi love here. Wharfdale has a new Evo 5 range, which our team will be bringing as well. So there'll be a smattering of different things under our portfolio that we'll have at the show.
Yeah, yeah. We talked to Woody was on the last live stream that we had on here, and we were talking a little bit about Workdale, and I'm trying to convince him to bring some Leak audio gear. So I don't know if you can or not, but definitely what I had. I think it was the Super Dentons. Yeah, I think I had the Super Dentons that I
Yeah,
would test out for a little
yeah.
while, and I didn't want those to leave my didn't want them to leave my living room, so still miss them. But and then we showed briefly the picture up here, but we've also got the MasterPhono as well. And
Yeah,
mhm. Yeah, so
yeah.
tell us
So
a
the
bit about it.
MasterPhonos. Yeah, I mean this is what I use at home in my main system. Really, it was a combination of a wish list from myself and one of my colleagues here. We're both, diehard vinyl guys, and I think over the years we've had numerous phono preamps in our systems. It's like, oh, I wish it had this, I wish it had that, and through the wizardry of Peter Madnick, our lead electronics engineer, he took everything we wanted and then some and put it into the MasterPhono. So this is certainly a kind of more advanced user product, but it gives you so many nice features beyond the great sound quality. It's got loading and gain adjustments on the front. It has 3 inputs. So, for crazy people like me who have multiple turntables, multiple cartridges, you can run, 2 or 3 turntables or a turntable that has 2 tone arms on it all into one product and have independent gain loading settings for it on the fly. It also has a very tricked feature called a current source input, which certain moving coil cartridges just are absolute magic with that type of input. Totally bypasses all the impedance settings on it. Very different than your typical voltage input on a phono preamplifier, but it can just be unbelievable. So brands like Zix or MySonic Lab that are very low impedance cartridges just sound killer with the MasterPhono. Of course, if it's a dream wish list, it had to have meters. So the meters not only look cool, which is the primary reason for meters, it actually helps you with adjustments. So if you have a test record, you can do some of those things we were talking about, like adjusting channel balance, via azimuth on your tone arm. You can see it read out on the meter. So it's not just cool looking, it's a very practical setup tool built in as well. Fully balanced architecture. So if you use balanced cables, you can do that, or single-ended RCAs. So this thing is kind of like the Swiss Army knife, but it's also a master of everything that it does. And it's our best phono preamp by far.
Awesome. Wow. Yeah, I think I've got to hear that one a few times, and it is a fantastic phono preamp. It looks great too. Sitting pretty much on
It's a
any shelf.
beast. It's a beast. When we first showed it and people didn't know what it was, they thought it was an amplifier. It's such a large chassis. I don't know if we have a top-down view, but it's got 2 separate sections where the power supply is totally isolated from all the low-level signal electronics. So it's super quiet, which is really kind of like the trick of making a great phono preamp. Yeah, you can kind of see that slot in the top chassis there. So there's total isolation. And a lot of phono preamps will have an external power supply, but that's another set of cables, that's another box. Peter had a very kind of unique way of putting it all together in one nice chassis, but getting all the advantages of a separate power supply.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm excited to see it again at the show. And I like the design language that you guys are kind of keeping consistent across the MoFi brand as a whole. Kind of that vintage looking style, but with very modern technology. So it's been popular.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because we're always torn on that, quite frankly. We have this studio kind of background with Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab. And so a lot of what informs our design decisions for the aesthetics of the product kind of goes back to the studio. So if you look at the power button, that square power button, which honestly is a big pain to both manufacture and install, and they cost more than a typical button. But we do that because it pays homage to a lot of the equipment we use at Mobile Fidelity and Sebastopol, right? So like the original Studer tape machine that we use to transfer all the master tapes, they have those square lit up buttons, right? So, everything, there's a reason for everything on a MoFi product. And we want to have a timeless aesthetic that's not just, a fly by night, fad. It's something that's going to last a long time and you're going to like looking at for a long time.
Very cool. Well, we've got, I think we got a little extra time for a few questions if you want to take some audience questions real quick. So let's see. Here's an easy one. How much do the V10s weigh?
I think they are 165 pounds each, I believe.
All right, so a light
They're
speaker. Yeah, you can. Yeah, we carried up to the whatever the 10th, 13th floor you guys are on.
yeah,
We're scared of the
surprisingly, a
stairs.
lot of reviewers don't want to review them. They're too heavy. Yeah, let me look it up just to make sure I'm not crazy, but I'm pretty sure they're 100. Yeah. Well, the website's showing 96 pounds each, so maybe I'm doubling it up here. Oh no, that's the 888. Yeah, everything we do is heavy. I think
But
they
we're
are
not going to hold you to
165
it.
pounds each. Yeah, they're beasts, man.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And that's
with
all in the
size of
cabinet. You know, we use neodymium magnets on the drivers, and so it's funny when you take the 10-inch drivers out, the motor behind the driver doesn't look huge because the neo magnets are so powerful. They don't need to be massive. But Andrew is all about a super well braced cabinet, and so if you look at all that bracing inside the box, you know, 2-inch thick MDF front baffle. I mean, it's a beast.
Yeah, yeah. They definitely they were solid whenever we saw them. All right, so some other questions here. So turntable question: when playing, is it recommended that the dust cover be down or on, or be up and off? Does it make a difference?
Well, if you have a kid like Harrison does, I recommend dust cover on. If you're just looking for the best performance, dust cover up or off would be even better, because, you know, with turntables, it's measuring vibrations, right? So everything that resonates, and this is why all turntables sound different. It's not just a matter of what kind of cartridge you're using. The turntable itself plays a huge influence on the sound, and we've always found dust cover off is going to give you the best quality sound. And when we designed the hinges on the MoFi turntables, you know, we're very specific to make it easy to remove and put the dust cover back on with those hinges. You don't have to struggle with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so yeah, making it easily removable is the key. Yeah, it's nice to have it on there sometimes, especially if people are over and you don't want them messing with the table. You just pop down the dust.
Yeah, I've got 3
cover.
kids, so the dust covers are always on in my house. I sacrifice that little bit of sound quality for the safety of the turntable.
Yeah, well, not even just kids, people cleaning it.
You know,
So,
I think that's a myth, man. Dude, that many people really have housekeepers that break their
no, I'm not
needles?
saying housekeepers. You know, I would be shameful not to say this. We have bent them before in our studio, you know, touching things up.
Oh,
Not
sure.
Harrison.
Yeah.
It was before Harrison's time, so we'll keep him out of this. But it happens, man. Especially with a lot of the exposed stylus cartridge designs. But so another question here: are record weights good for all turntables?
That's an interesting question. I think in general, yes. Now, some turntables are designed with their own kind of clamp already, so you wouldn't necessarily want to replace that with a record weight. But barring that, yeah, I think so. And, you know, a good rule of thumb, a lot of people ask me like, hey, do I get a MoFi super heavyweight? Then we have like a real big, not big, physically big, but a much heavier version called the super heavyweight champion. And you see these weights from all different brands, you know, use different materials and technology. A good rule of thumb that I learned from Mike Latvis at HRS, who designed our record weights, who makes incredible racks, is that you want to be at about 1/5 of the weight of the platter. You don't want to go too much over that, because then you can possibly wear the bearing or the motor of your turntable. So anybody considering a weight, you know, you could definitely overdo it. So keep that in mind. But yeah, generally speaking, weights are going to help with the grip, the coupling of the record to the platter. And like the MoFi weights have material in it specifically designed to absorb noise created by the stylus, created by the bearing of the turntable. And so what you'll notice is a much quieter, blacker background, less surface noise. And that's really what a good record weight should be able to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would be hesitant to say all tables, because there are some tables out there that, you know, for Riga, for example, that want to be super low mass, and it kind of goes against their design philosophy. So just pay attention to the design philosophy of the turntable. But
yeah,
it can work really well with definitely a lot of them. So
yeah, sprung turntables would be another exception. You know, if you have like a Lin LP12 or some other sprung turntable, they might not like having extra weight put on it. But I'd say in general, most turntables, a record weight's a good idea.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Awesome. Well, you guys, again, we'll just recap what you're giving away, John. So tell everybody a bit about the giveaway prize.
Yeah, so it's a Music Hall MMF 1.5. So to me, this is one of the sweet spots in the Music Hall line. So $500, you know, it's not cheap, but it's not crazy expensive and unobtainable. And I think that whether it's Music Hall or any brand, I think $500 is a good price point where you're getting really good value for money, something that's not just entry level, but that you can also grow with if you want to upgrade the cartridge or add an accessory like a record weight. It still makes sense to do that at this level. Something that can last you a very long time. The 1.5 is interesting because, well, one, it's a nice cherry real wood veneer finish. I think it looks like a nice piece of furniture. This also has built-in speed control, so you can do 33, 45. You can even play back 78s on this model. It even has a trim adjustment on the back panel, so if you need to really fine-tune the speed, you have like a strobe disc or an app on your phone where you can really get the speed super dead accurate. You can do that. So it's got some high-end features at a relatively low price point. The tone arm has a detachable head shell, which is one of my favorite features because you can easily change the cartridge, or if you have multiple cartridges, you can buy other head shells and mount them up very quickly and safely. So I think the 1.5 at $499, great deal. Even better deal, whoever wins it for free. I mean, it's a great table, whether you're getting back into vinyl or if you need a second turntable that you're already into it. It's a cool product.
Very cool. Well, we'll select that winner here at the end of the show. Like we said before, just leave a comment and you're entered in, and the team on the back end, Keep Me Unbiased, will select it for us. So awesome, John. Well, thanks so much for jumping on. We've got another guest that's about to pop on, but we're going to see you at the show, right?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. We'll catch you soon.
All right. Thanks, Nick.
That's it. All right. So up next, we got Robert with Pro-Ject. Hey, Robert, how you doing?
I'm great. How about you?
Doing well, doing well. You've also been on some of these before, but for those of you who all missed it, give us just a quick introduction.
I'm a lifelong music lover that was drawn into our industry because of my first experience of hearing a good quality system that sounded worlds better than what I had at home. And so now 40 years later, I'm still involved in the industry. And so I'm the national sales manager for Pro-Ject audio systems in the US and Sumiko phono cartridges. Involved in all kinds of different aspects. One of the most fun projects I've been involved in lately with Sumiko, we're developing some new moving coil phono cartridges. And that has been just a really cool process of specifying some things, getting some prototypes, making adjustments, playing them again and again with different combinations of components and things, and really, really great sounding. We have a new cartridge that'll come out late this year, and then one probably early next year, and then late next year we'll have another one. So really exciting to play with some really fabulous moving coil cartridges and hear the differences of making very tiny changes. I mean, we've made some engineering choices that are incredibly small, and then listening to them and going, wow, what a difference. So that's been really fun.
Those are all low output moving coils, I presume?
They are, yeah. In fact, they will be low impedance as well. Oh. Jonathan touched on a little bit of their MasterPhono stage being current voltage or current amplification transimpedance instead of voltage. Mm-hmm. And our new moving coils will be low impedance and work perfectly with a current amplification phono stage. So that'll be another great aspect to those new phono cartridges. So
very cool. Well, I'm excited to hear them whenever they come out. So while we're on the topic of new products, what are you guys bringing out to the show?
Well, one of the things we'll be premiering in the US, it was unveiled in Europe, but will be premiering at the show, will be the new AC/DC turntable. So this is a limited edition licensed turntable with the folks at AC/DC. Cool looking turntable. Sounds really good, really unusual things. That is an acrylic tone arm with aluminum rigidity enhancing tube in the middle. Has a really good bearing on the arm. The turntable, the platter itself is glass. The sub-platter bearing assembly is acrylic. It is not lit up inside internally. That's light shining on it, but with some light on it, it glows and it looks really cool. But it's going to appeal to the AC/DC fans, but it's not just a toy. This is based on our debut Pro turntable. So it's a good sounding turntable. It's a real turntable, not a plastic, inexpensive thing. It's made in Europe in our factory, just like all of our turntables are. Just happens to be really cool. And for AC/DC fans, it will be an absolute stunner. So
Yeah.
that's going to be really fun.
It's a cool table. You guys have, an artist series as a whole. So you guys put out these from time to time, correct?
Yeah, there are a lot of ongoing negotiations with licensing and things. A lot of artists or their representatives have come to Pro-Ject and said, we want to have a turntable. And depending on if it meets the requirements, there are a whole bunch of factors involved in terms of many artists would want to have something made in Asia very inexpensively.
Mm-hmm.
And all Pro-Ject turntables are made in Europe. And so there will never be a $200 plastic turntable with somebody's name on it. So as I mentioned, it's really a solid turntable, good sounding, well made, high performance that happens to be cool for AC/DC. It was a matter of working with their representatives and designing something that they liked, as well as the Pro-Ject engineering team happy with the performance of the end result. So it's cool. It's a fun thing. And yeah, there will be more. It's a continuing thing. We started with the Beatles years ago and did licensing with Apple Music. That is the Beatles record label. We've done a Jack White. We've done, Ringo Starr, Hans Theesink from Denmark. So there've been a host of different artist series turntables. They're fun. They're really cool. But in terms of, is it the absolute best performance for the price? It's not. It's really, the nice thing is it's a good performing turntable. It would not ever be embarrassing that you'd put on a record and go, oh, just doesn't sound good. No, that's not the case. It's a good sounding turntable. It will be priced at $16.99, be available around October is when we think we'll get the first batch. Very limited edition. But the performance for the price, it's not as good as others we have in that same price range because of licensing fees and other factors that go into it. It's not just the production and materials quality that dictates the cost.
Yeah, and
So-
you're not able to reuse a lot of some of the technology from other tables, but
Yeah,
I doubt you just
some of
had
it.
spare lightning bolt plinths laying
Right,
around.
right.
So I'm sure that a fair amount's going to that. But it's cool that you guys aren't trying to just make it a gimmick as much as it is just performance, and still paying a little bit of extra for the aesthetics. But a lot of companies out there just try to put somebody's name on something and produce something as cheaply as possible, and it's not unique. So it's an artist series, so it's a piece of art. It looks great.
Yeah, it does. And it carries on the Pro-Ject tradition of design, engineered, and built in-house in our factory in Europe. Our turntables range from $400 up to $15,000. But the cool thing is they're a big step up over the Asian sourced plastic and aluminum things. All of our turntables have a solid MDF plinth and have a good bearing for the platter to spin on, good quality tone arm, good phono cartridge. The elements, even at $400, it will sound better than the very inexpensive turntables. It will make your records last longer. The key elements are really the most important thing. And of course, at entry level, you have to make compromises. But with our production capacity and building turntables, so many models. Our debut Evo 2 is just a massive worldwide seller, and that production capacity allows us to share a lot of the technology, the materials quality, carbon fiber tone arm, precision bearings, really wonderful cast aluminum machined platters, elements that you just don't see in other turntables in a similar price range to ours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you guys are bringing a few other goodies out to the show. Tell us
Yes,
a bit
we
about
are.
what all you got.
Well, we'll be showing the new XAB turntable, which is a really cool acrylic plinth turntable that has some design criteria. It's unusual because we do make a lot of carbon fiber tone arms. So we brought out early this year the XAB, and it is an acrylic plinth, but utilizes an aluminum tone arm. And a lot of people were like, well, your better turntables all have carbon fiber. Why doesn't this? And it's really a matter of the combination of what the acrylic plinth does acoustically. Jonathan was talking earlier about vibration, mechanical energy. Everything has resonant characteristics. So partnering an aluminum 10-inch tone arm, one thing about it was coupled better to the acrylic plinth, the base of the turntable. Another thing is this turntable is set up for balanced connection to a phono preamp. Mm-hmm. The heavier aluminum tone arm is a better match for a moving coil cartridge. Moving coil cartridges are balanced signal generators. Moving magnet cartridges are not. There's one exception. There's a Pro-Ject Picket Pro B, a balanced moving magnet cartridge, and there will eventually be some more. But currently, moving coil cartridges are balanced output signal generators. Moving magnet cartridges are not. The aluminum arm, again, a little higher mass, better suited to an upgrade moving coil cartridge. That XAB, however, comes with the Picket Pro B, a balanced moving magnet cartridge. We're going to be showing that turntable with our $500 balanced phono preamp, playing the difference, connecting RCAs with ground, making no other change in the system except the connection from the turntable to the phono preamp, going from the RCAs with ground or single-ended RCA to a balanced multi-pin mini XLR connector. Playing the same thing, just from the turntable to the phono preamp, balanced connection. The great thing about that is the connection is really important. The output of a phono cartridge is by far the smallest thing we have in the audio chain. On the recording and live music side, everyone knows you do not wire a microphone that has a really small output to a console, a mixer, a PA system with anything but balanced. And the reason is you don't want to pick up radio frequency interference, electromagnetic interference. You want the common mode rejection of that connection to have a lower noise, cleaner passage for the cartridge signal to get to, well, in the case of the microphone, for a microphone to get downstream. But in our case, from the phono cartridge to the phono preamp. A lot of people ask about that and say, that's really cool, but my system's not balanced. So I won't get any benefit of balanced connection of the cartridge to the turntable. Well, actually, that's the biggest gain. It's a smaller improvement going out of the phono preamp, RCA versus balanced. It's so critical to get as much signal from the cartridge into the phono preamp where all of the amplification and equalization occurs. We feel that that's really such a big gain, having a balanced connection. It's been available for quite a while. Typically, though, very high-end turntables, very high-end phono preamps are balance capable. We now have turntables starting at $1,100 with balanced output, and our phono preamps, as I mentioned, starting at $500 with balanced input and output. So we'll be doing some fun little comparisons and playing the same music in the same system, and only making that change between the single-ended and balanced connection in the system.
Very cool. Are there any gain differences between balanced and unbalances on the turntable side?
Yeah, there are. And so to make it fair, we will adjust the volume a little bit so that the balanced connection volume level will be turned down a little bit to offset the difference. It's about 60 dB gain difference between the balanced and single-ended connection. But even at the equalized volume levels, it's an obvious difference. I have, of course, a balanced connection on my turntable at home, and it's very audible, and I would never go back to not having a balanced connection. So it's audible to me and important to me. So
yeah, well, especially whenever you have I would say also longer runs coming from your turntable to your phono preamp, more likely to pick up noise. If you're running any meaningful distance over, 2-3 feet, you would definitely want to go balanced on that front. So that's very cool. I've also got some other pictures on here. It looks like of some tables that you bring in. So tell us a bit about what this one is.
That's the new classic reference. So that is our, well, in this finish, it's a $7,000 turntable. It also comes in chrome and black, which is a $6,000 version. This is a turntable that's been in production for quite a while, but just at the beginning of this year was completely revised. The top plate, the platter bearing assembly, and the tone arm are all floating on that top plate. So it's decoupled from the plinth, the frame, the base, the wooden base. It is done a little differently. This is done instead of with springs, which is the typical, there are a number of manufacturers that use springs to float the platter and the arm. They need adjustability. So the springs have to be tensioned and adjusted, and they sag over time, and they need more maintenance. This turntable offers a lot of the benefits of that design, where the platter and arm are isolated from the motor and the base and the environment, but they're isolated via thermopolymer elastomer balls. So they're spongy material, but they're placed to keep the top plate, the plinth, perfectly level to the top plate perfectly level to the plinth. The feet on the bottom are adjustable. So if you have to put it on something that isn't level, you can adjust the feet to get it level. But what it does is it provides isolation for the platter and the arm from the environment, therefore less influenced by acoustic and mechanical energy around the turntable. Happens to look really cool too. Detachable head shell. I saw a comment earlier in the comment section about what's the difference between straight arm and S-shape. I'll address that here because this one has an S-shaped tone arm. The primary reason for it is the flexibility of having a detachable head shell. This uses an SME bayonet removable head shell. And the great thing is that you can have multiple cartridges and very easily swap them out. You might want to have one for beat up old records, and you might want to have your superior cartridge for the very best records and the highest fidelity. Or I kind of do that with my wife. I have a second turntable, and she uses it because she's uncomfortable with the cartridge and tone arm on my reference turntable. But anyway, you can change out cartridges real easy. The S-shape has some advantages, some disadvantages. Almost universally, mechanical engineers will tell you straight arm is better. The Pro-Ject guys, they feel it is, but they do a great job with their S-shaped arms. And interestingly, the $15,000 Signature 12.2 uses an S-shaped arm. And it has to do mostly with the mass and with the type of bearing assembly that's used. But suffice to say that both are good. In general, especially at a modest price, a straight arm is going to have better strength, rigidity, better resonant characteristics. As you get up and you can use better materials, then the S-shaped arm has some advantages like this with the removable head shell and the fun flexibility to have multiple cartridges and play easily on it.
Yeah, some people have stigma against removable head shells, but I think the convenience
too.
offered. Yeah, I think the convenience offered outweighs a lot of the cons, so to speak. Especially if you get into mono and people want specific cartridges for it. It's
Or
so much better than
78.
having to swap something out. Swap out a whole cartridge on a single piece tone arm.
And the collar on those is really good. So when you put the head shell in and you lock the collar down, it's pretty secure. Is it as good as one piece from the bearing assembly all the way on out to the end of the head shell? No, but it's pretty close. So it's not much of a compromise.
Yeah. So, well, very cool. Hopefully people can come out and check those out. I think we got one more picture on here. I want to take some time to show off because I've had my fair share of use time with this. So tell us a bit about it.
Well, this is our smaller and less expensive vacuum record cleaning machine, the VCE2. I have one and I use it endlessly. And for anyone who has a reasonable or larger record collection, this to me it's eye-opening in what it can do. I have 50-year-old records. I clean them as I play them. I don't clean my records all the time. It's rare. I clean new records or when I buy used records. This, you brush fluid into the surface, bring over that little round tube arm, turn on the vacuum, turn on the motor, rotate the record. I rotate it 2 times in each direction. Pick up the record and look at it and see how much debris is cleaned off the surface and in the grooves, and then play that same record before and after a cleaning. And it's a remarkable difference. Not only does it sound better, but by cleaning the record, you're preserving the life of the record. Playing a dirty record and stuff gets ground into the grooves. And if you're buying a really good MoFi one-step, you want to take care of it. That may not need a cleaning right brand new, but if you ever leave it out, if it ever gets dusty or dirty or somebody comes over and puts their fingers on your record, going through the cleaning cycle makes a dramatic difference. And I can't recommend having that enough. It wouldn't make sense for someone who has 20 records. This sells for $549. Hopefully it won't go up with tariffs being announced. This is made in Europe in our factory as well. So there are chances in the future. So a good time to buy is now. But under $1,000, there's no record cleaning machine on the market I've seen that compares. So really a worthwhile investment if you have records.
Very cool. Well, it looks like you're bringing out some good things. Yeah, the record cleaners are a must-have. Yeah, I can't suggest them enough for those of you out there. I started in the vintage, all used albums and vintage audio market, and I didn't clean records for years. And I just remember just seeing dust piling up around my stylus. I'm like, I think it's time to clean off my stylus after it starts sounding muffled. So I'm like, all right. Yeah. Once I got into cleaning my albums, it's a world of difference. So awesome. Yeah. Well, Robert, thank you so much for coming on. We look forward to seeing you at the show and showing off some of your gear.
Well, we'll be there. It'll be fun. And I just want to say one quick thing about the show. It's really a wonderful opportunity for folks to see and hear things. And it's a testament to Audio Advice to present this. it's an opportunity to see such a wide variety of things, talk to people who know what they're talking about, and just have exposure that wouldn't normally be there. So it's really a fun show and a great opportunity. So I hope everybody watching gets an opportunity to come out and say hi and see and hear some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no better place to get answers rather than just a bunch of industry experts all in one building. So even if you're just starting on a project and have questions, there's the best place to be. So awesome. Well, thanks so much, Robert. We'll see you at the show.
You're welcome. All right. Thanks.
Thanks,
See you later.
Awesome. Well, yeah, so looks like there can be some fun stuff out at the show, a lot of fun turntable pieces. So it looks like it's time for the giveaway winners. So I'm actually just pulling from my team here. So it looks like the winner is going to be Carl Zink Sr. Carl, reach out to us and we'll get you set up with that new turntable. And thanks to MoFi for supplying that. And yeah, we'll get it shipped out here probably within the next week or so. So again, everybody, we've got the show here, Audio Advice Live, August 1st through 3rd in downtown Raleigh, North Carolina. Again, we have a promo code going on today. So make sure you use that and we'll see you at the show. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a good one.